Deshaun Watson to Browns deal reveals an ugly NFL truth. I thought this would be a pretty interesting read. So imagine if you are a long suffering Browns fan, imagine if you are a woman or someone who respects women. Can you in good conscience root for the Browns now? Or imagine if you are simply an NFL fan. Most of us are, it is after all our national pastime. Can you in good conscience root for Deshaun Watson? How can you not at the very least be conflicted? When Vince Lombardi repeated those immortal words, winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing, he couldn't possibly have imagined an NFL in which morality takes a holiday and he said he is valued more than she said at all costs because as always, if you can play, you do not have to pay. Oh yes, Roger Goodall and company will surely move to save some face when he imposes a politically correct six-game suspension, which will amount to pocket change lost for Watson, intended to show what amounts to the league's zero tolerance policy on the new face of the franchise in Cleveland as per the personal conduct policy. Alas, there is no zero tolerance policy for a 26-year-old Zero who might be great enough to lead a franchise to its first Super Bowl championship. Watson emerging from the shady, disturbing 22 civil and 9 criminal and sexual assault and harassment accusations from his assortment of aggrieved massage therapists with the largest contract in NFL history, a 5-year, fully guaranteed $230 million reward. And this is the thing that I really was one of the reasons why I really wanted to talk about this. It's like this is a lot of money and it's guaranteed. Okay? Like that's a lot of money. So as they would say on Nickelodeon, slime pays. Of course, Watson is free to earn a living again following a year as a football leper. This isn't the issue. Oh, that isn't the issue. The issue is a historic reward after a grand jury decided that the evidence was insufficient for a criminal trial, which does not fall into the he's innocent until proven guilty arena. The desperation to win a Super Bowl had three other teams, the Falcons, Saints, and Panthers, falling over themselves to land him. The Falcons were prepared to throw Matt Ryan, one of the classiest people in any sport, down the river. Why did the Browns move on from Baker Mayfield? They wanted an adult at quarterback, so they sell their souls for Deshaun Watson. To rid themselves of Watson, the Texans secured three first-round picks and a third-round pick and a fourth-rounder and forked over a fifth-rounder. Yet, another reminder that if Darth Vader could help a team win, the inevitable suitors won't care much, if at all, about their character. Kneeling for racial injustice guarantees you a lifetime of blackballing in your prime, while allegedly kneeling on the dignity of female victims gets you a fully guaranteed bonanza. The Browns owners are Jimmy Haslam and his wife Dee, and the Saints owner is Gail Benson. What price for glory? The Women's Sports Foundation honored and celebrated Buccaneers coach Bruce Arians at his 2020 Champion for Equality for his gender equality and commitment to diversity. Arians had already hired assistant strength and conditioning coach Mirage of Fire and assistant defensive line coach Lori Lacoste prior to the arrival of Jackie Davison, who had previously worked for the Jets as director of football research. If they're the best people to help you win, Arian said, let's hire them. It's the same thing I told my daughter a long time ago. Anything is out there for you. Work hard, put your nose to the grindstone, and don't give up. Don't ever give up. Just keep fighting for it. The Giants hired Laura Young in February as the director of coaching operations and Angela Baker, formerly part of the Bill Walsh Diversity Coaching Fellowship with the Browns, as a minority coaching fellow and offensive quality control coach. Giants GM Joe Schoen and coach Brian DeBall recently were featured speakers at the NFL's sixth annual Women's Career in Football Forum. They came over from a progressive Bills organization, and in 2021 NFL season, women made up 38.8% of the NFL league office and 25.3% of teams' senior administration, 3.1% of team CEOs and presidents, and 1.5% of team assistant coaches, according to the Institute for Diversity and Ethics and Sport yearly report card. The NFL has enthusiastically wooed the female fans certainly ever since it fumbled the Ray Rice domestic violence disciplinary eyesore, but mostly looking the other way at Commanders owner Dan Snyder and his toxic culture history tarnishes the record. So I grew up a Browns fan. A friend of mine in the sports media texted me. I was a Browns fan before Deshaun Watson, and I'll be a Browns fan after Deshaun Watson. In no way could anyone condone anything he allegedly did, and I can't support the human, but if the National Football League is allowing him to play in games, I am not giving up my fandom of a team because they're trying to upgrade at quarterback, and he was a natural choice. It's a major PR hit. Some fans will leave the team, but sports is a fantasy land where a guy can do what Watson did and still play. It's not the first case and won't be the last. Anyone remember the movie Draft Day when Browns GM Kevin Costner wouldn't draft quarterback Bo Callahan with the first overall pick because of character concerns? Should Watson settle the outstanding cases against him, he should know that he would be wearing a scarlet letter for the rest of his career. But should he win a Super Bowl, Goodell will be handing him the Lombardi Trophy, and all shall be forgiven if not forgiven in Cleveland. So let's do this, right? Deshaun Watson deal, right? Searching this up. President, blah, blah, blah. Contract breakdowns right here. Let's see. Yearly cash. No. I don't think this is the right one. Actually, no, right. So Deshaun Watson signed a 5-year, $230 million contract with the Cleveland Browns, including a $45 million signing bonus, $230 guaranteed, and an average annual salary of $46 million in 2022. Watson will earn a base salary of $1,035,000 and a signing bonus of $45 million, while carrying a cap hit of $10,035,000. Like, this is a crazy amount of money. Like $46 million basically a year, right? Well, technically, like what? Yeah, a $46 million per year job, right? And the thing to really understand about this and why this is such a big deal is that money only really follows to people that are able to get attention, right? So the NFL is able to generate massive amounts of money, are able to hire people of questionable character because they're able to generate a lot of attention, right? Now, Deshaun Watson might be a very good quarterback. I have no clue. I pay no attention to football. But the reality is, the NFL or like, pro athletes or all these different things kind of reveal like a really weird side of human nature, right? Because, for example, someone that potentially has done something that he has been alleged of would make nothing or potentially have no job in normal day life, right? And yet you have someone of questionable character being able to generate half of 9 figures roughly because he's playing a sport. All because of the attention. This is why you have like Hollywood actors being able to generate millions of dollars, even though, like, as a person, they're really crappy, right? And that's just something to really understand. Is like there's so much money in the attention game that pretty much almost nothing matters, right? Which is crazy when you really think about it. I just thought this would like be like an interesting story because look, the only thing that this guy should really focus on is managing his money correctly because who knows what's going to happen. I mean, he might be able to play for a very long time or might not. But this does kind of like reveal like a kind of like disturbing layer of the NFL.